Hey StarPowered friends, it's the third quarter moon. It's the third quarter moon. Today's February 20th, 2019, and I'm tuning in to the 7 days from yesterday's full moon, February 19th, 2019 until February 25th, 2019. So that's 7 days, and that's the third quarter moon. There are 4 quarters in each lunar wave cycle, the 28 lunar phases of the moon cycle. So the new moon began on February 5th, and that began the first quarter moon. And so the first quarter is from moon phase 1 until moon phase 8, the half moon waxing, and second quarter from the half moon waxing until the full moon yesterday. The third quarter from the full moon until the half moon waning, moon phase 22. The subtle energy of the third quarter is there's a rising up. It's the least incarnational of the quarters, and so of the quarters of the moon. So what does that mean? There's just a general energy of it is a time of going outward. It's a time of reaching higher. It's a time of so my key phrase is inspire and be inspired. So it's about, really, kicking up your own energy. And that's general. That happens every third quarter moon, and it's really subtle, and you can pay attention to these things yourself. We're all soul scientists if you want to be. So be your own soul scientist, and if you're a budding astrologer or a budding, just tuning into rhythms, tuning in through tarot, tuning in, however you're tuning into the subtle energies of every day and the elements, the sun, the moon, it's all there for us every moment to access. And these are some of the tools. This astrology is a very powerful tool to tune in and pay attention every moment, and also working with tarot and other oracle devices, divinatory tools of tapping into the invisible, tapping into the subtle. I think is actually a better word, the subtle and subtle world. So this third quarter moon, we're in a rich field, right? We just had the full moon. I have a bit of a full moon hangover, and which means I haven't drank enough water. Virgo full moon. There's so much to get done on a Virgo full moon. Oh my God. And of course, my Virgo's kicking my butt and telling me, come on, those are the basics, drink enough water. When are you going to get it? So this third quarter moon, rich field, right? Chiron in Aries now. We've got Uranus in Aries. They're only going to be together in the sign of Aries in 2019 ever, and only for these 2 weeks from February 19th, February 18th to March 6th, when Uranus moves into the sign of Taurus, and in some parts of the world it's going to be March 5th. So just depending on the time zone. March 5th, March 6th, and so then we're really crossing into a new era. And so this time frame of this third quarter moon, we've got Chiron kicking it off in the first degree of Aries, and it literally is a kickoff there. And so every sign, it doesn't matter what sign you are, there's somewhere where you're being called to get courageous, get out there, and it's individual. It really is, because you're getting out there could be getting into some really deep stuff inside of yourself, and it's so different for all 12 signs and 12 journeys, because where Aries is for each sign in terms of the sign chart itself, this is a very general chart for each sign. Every sign has its own relationship to that 0 degrees of Aries. So it is really personal, and so that's where it's your own spirit drive, it's your own spirit impulse, and listening to where you're being pulsed, where you're being called to action. So it is a call to action. There's a call to action in some way for you at this time, and so Chiron's really driving a point of something, a place that needs to be healed, where wholeness needs to come in, where there's been a big leak in the energy body, and so it's a rising up energy, that first degree of Aries. Uranus at the 30th degree Aries. I just can't say it enough. I can't drive this point enough, is at a really evolutionary degree of because it's the final degree of Aries, it's combustive. It's combustive, and it has a revolutionary energy to it. So it is it's a revolutionary time for each one of us if you really want to take up your own call to action, your own call to revolt against the forces of depression and disempowerment and self-doubt. And so Uranus is a force of liberation and consciousness and awareness, and it's advancing. So it's, as we're preparing to head into a new time in this new this really makes the Aquarian new moon lunar cycle part of an ending that's happening, and a shifting, a crossing over, a bridging time that we're inside of. And that makes this week very powerful, with Saturn advancing in the sign of Capricorn, and it's just advanced in the next degree. So there is that also, like what you're working on, consolidating, where you're building new structures in your life. And so in building new structures, there's taking down old structures. Pluto in Capricorn, out ahead in Capricorn right now, and it advanced into a new degree it's never been in before, at least since the American Revolution. Right, so so there is a real advancement happening, and so your life is advancing, your consciousness is advancing, and where you're being called to wake up, where you're being called to go and grow and let go. That's how we grow. We have to let go so you can go and grow in these other areas, in these other fields of development. So so this, I'm looking at my computer, and here we go. Right there. So this week with Mars also continuing on in Taurus, there's a lot of Earth energy. We've got 4 planets in Earth, including Venus. So we've got 2 personal planets in Earth, and right now the Moon. So there's a real lovely grounding right now, and get going and go, drive, go, keep it going, keep it steady, keep doing it, just day by day, every day. Yes, that's good. Just one day, one more hour, do that thing, whatever it is you're developing, whatever good qualities you're developing, new habits you're developing, because it's guaranteed you have to develop new habits that you can stand in, that hold you upright. So clearing out the old habits that came from your disempowerment habits, and habits that de-energize you. So clearing out shifting the diet, shifting your exercise routine, or starting a new exercise routine. And guaranteed there has to be, because we've got these Chiron and Aries now, it is about fleshing your system with new ways of spiriting yourself, right? Just really activating yourself. And that's what these next 8 years are about, and on a general level with Chiron and Aries. Now that we are in the Chiron and Aries years for the next 8 years, from 2019, literally started in on Monday, this last Monday, but we had an introduction to it last year in 2018 with Chiron moving into the sign of Aries for 6 months. So that's in general, like, absolutely doesn't matter what sign you are, there's a way in which there's building more muscle, building more courage, building more willingness, and cold water shower therapy is definitely one of the things I am promoting. And this morning was my 4th morning doing it in a row, and I'm really loving it. I'm really enjoying it, and it really wakes me up. It snaps me to attention. It makes me feel stronger. I'm getting new body sensations, and and I'm also learning how to do it. Like this morning, just to share, because this is relevant, because it is about facing something you fear, especially when your body's like, no, right? And then your mind over matter, because the body's like shrinking in preparation, but mind's like, when you're learning mind over matter and driving yourself, as I'm experiencing in this experience of cold water therapy, that first hit is the hardest. And then, but when I stick through it and I stay in there, and my body immediately begins to get flushed with these releases, and it starts to warm up, and it starts to feel good. But, you know, so I'm training my mind now to that this feels good. This is a good thing. Whereas before I was like, no, who wants cold water therapy? That's bad. But I'm now training because I've been convinced by other voices that that it was a good idea. And so that's all I'm doing is convincing my brain, this is good. This is good for me. And so that's the rewiring that's happening. That's just an example of my one example aspect of my life where I'm experiencing a rewiring and a recharging my energy. And because it is about centralizing in our energy body system, and that's what Chiron, we're in these Chiron and Aries years, and it hasn't been in Chiron's, Chiron hasn't been in Aries since the last time was in the early 70s. I was born with Chiron in Aries. And Chiron makes a return every 50 to 51 years. And it's like 49 to 51 years. So we're now in a new training ground. We can look at it that way of, okay, it's time to really, you know, look at this home central reality that we live in and energize ourselves. So, and get that we are multidimensional. And so there's a certain training ground that's happening because we're in the Aquarius new moon, and the Aquarius energy is in the rising up energy and join forces with evolution, with other people that are waking up and learning about your energy body, learning about your emotions, your brain, and how everything works. And also, you know, getting out there in the field. Getting out there, I know I'm saying it that way, but it's like a getting into yourself and to triumph in the field of causes, of good causes, and the good things to do for yourself that do help the holistic ecology of all that is in existence on Earth. Because what you do, what you say, what you think, what you feel matters. It really matters. And so as we're stepping into the age of individualism, you're an individual, and one of your primary objectives is to care for yourself and acknowledge yourself and clear out the voices of diminishment and self-doubt. So that's a pretty awesome task. And because we're in the Aquarius new moon and we're in the third quarter, so we're in the third quarter of the Aquarius new moon, it's getting the sixth house, which is what in my lineage of astrology is associated with the sixth house. Aquarius is associated with the sixth house, and there's a mission there. And I know every house has its mission, but there's a real mission getting out into the field, joining the universal evolutionary forces, the universe that's teeming with life and interconnectedness, the great ecology of all that is, you know, cosmos coming into Earth and weaving this grand palatial experience that we're all having, you know. And so working on your energy body, health and holistic field of everything, and learning about the energy body, learning about, you know, things like, you know, great bodies of knowledge like yoga and Ayurveda and other, you know, every culture has ancient wisdom, bodies of knowledge. So, you know, and seeking those out, and so really connecting in and finding pathways of introspection and looking at yourself and self-insight. And again, astrology is one of those tools. And knowing your chart and understanding your chart and understanding how you are different, because we are all different. Again, we're in the field of Aquarius, and so it is about charting the course. And so as you're charting your course in this third quarter moon, and what you need to do and what you need to do for yourself daily is, and what kind of upliftment program you have for yourself, and knowing as you're connecting in with what makes you feel good, what helps you call yourself to attention, what helps you connect into your center, and all you know, checking in with yourself emotionally and learning how to really go, how are you feeling, or noting when you're feeling something. And I just had something happen about an hour ago that knocked me down energetically, and I started feeling self-doubt. I started feeling negative. I started feeling like what happens to me, these patterns, and and I had to make myself, I was like, Alejandra, and I made me doubt myself. I mean, all these things came up, and because of this one little interaction I had that was really significant, but it kicked up, it triggered me, it triggered my fears and my insecurities. And then because I have enough awareness now, it's like, get up. This is what you got to do. You've got to film this thing. You got to do it, you know? And so now as I'm creating my own new structure in my life, and so that's taking me out of my unknown into the known of what I need to do for myself. And so those kinds of things that are just helping you daily as you're finding purpose for your life and what gives you drive. Like that's what the third quarter moon, that there's a real power of, like, you know, just work on what inspires you, work on what uplifts you as you're creating new habits of self-empowerment and self-connection. Is really, really important. So you're working on grounding new habits with Saturn advancing in Capricorn. I'm looking at my daily planetary guide, and we also have Venus is moving in between Venus and Capricorn. So I haven't actually, I'm off the cuff tuning into this now. I'm just, Venus is going to make a conjunction to Capricorn on the 22nd, on Friday the 22nd. So it's moving right in between the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that's happening right now. They're in about a, I think it's a 6-degree conjunction right now, 5-degree conjunction. So they're getting closer and closer, and so that primary issue of power and authority and standing on, and clearing out the false power and authority in your own neural network, and to align with your true power and authority, and that strong inner voice that has your back and it allows you to access compassion and empathy. That's all that in a nutshell. So Friday the 22nd, Venus going in, but is conjuncting Saturn. Yeah, so there's a real beauty right now in grounding in your self-love and your self-connection, because Venus is the soul, it's the song of your soul. So with Saturn going in between, with Venus going in between Saturn and Pluto, and it's going to make a strong conjunction with, it's going to make a conjunction, an exact conjunction with Pluto on Friday, along with Mercury in Pisces making a square to Jupiter in Sag. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. That is such prime territory as you're tapping into your love frequency, tapping into self-love. Virgo full moon filling you with your universe, earth-given birthright of your innate self-worth and self-connection, and that gives you a access. It gives you power cord connection, immediate connection to, you know, giving yourself that self-assurance that you need to hear from yourself and love yourself, to guide yourself, to connect in with your rhythms and listen to your needs and what nourishes you, and listening to your body wisdom. And it's so awesome. I mean, Venus in a conjunction with Saturn and Pluto this week. This is such a powerful week of connecting into your innate goodness, your innate self-worth, your innate, just who you are as a child of this universe. That is gorgeous. See, it's amazing to kind of not tune into things and then find things every day. I find new things. It's hard to see everything, right? Wow, it's really beautiful. I mean, there's always the other side of the story, right? I'm just interpreting what I feel is the empowerment path. This is the empowerment path. And so it's personal, and finding those places for yourself as you're really connecting in to who you are and establishing, because Venus is in Capricorn, your own innate self-worth. That Capricorn has an elegance to it, a regalness to it. So there's a real feeling of like, create your palace, create your temple. You are the temple. Venus knows that. So you're creating a temple in your everyday life, in your room, your bedroom, whatever it is that you need to do is to style and dial yourself and really reflect back who you are and go up to a new level. So I do actually recommend that with Venus and Capricorn right now, as you're up leveling. I'm a full on Venus. We are in this lovely world of fantasia. okay? It's really the world. You create your reality, and it's time to fashion yourself in the beauty and majesty that you are, that Venus, your Venus, she's like, male or female. It's up level your attire, up level how you care for how you fashion yourself. And because Venus really doesn't like drab. Venus really doesn't like that. Venus likes style. Venus likes, and it's different for each sign, but there's definitely elegance and beauty. Venus is about beauty and elegance. Bring nature into your home, or turn down the electricity at night. Like, too much electricity blasts the airwaves and the subtle energies. So create a little romance for yourself, like just yourself in the universe, you're home alone, whatever, in your room alone, just put on some candles and feel the subtle energy. So I feel there's a real like connecting in with your body temple, with your innate temple, that allows you connection to all that is. And so and dream your dream. Just keep feeling what excites you and where you're longing to go. And with Mercury in Pisces right now, I'm going to wrap this up because Mercury's in Pisces. Dream, feel, remember, start a journal. If you don't write, start writing, just anything, one page. Just allow yourself to connect with yourself. Mercury in Pisces, there's remembrance in the sign of Pisces. So it's all in us, it's all there, and allow yourself to access yourself and bring it all out on paper, because we're also in a very expansive year with Jupiter and Sagittarius. And then on Saturday, Mercury in Pisces makes a sextile with Pluto and Capricorn. So wow, there just feels like a real powerful accessing yourself with Pluto and Capricorn making a sextile to Mercury in Pisces and everything else that's happening. It feels like, and so that's going to happen 3 times on the Mercury retrograde path. So we're in a field of like it's an empowering your dreams so that you can establish them, so that you can clear out the old nightmares or done dreams, did it, or revising your dreams, right? The revision that needs to happen. That's the sign of Capricorn, revisioning, earth magic. So those are the main things. That's the 3rd quarter moon as I tune into it, as I see it. My name is Alejandra Sofia. If you're interested in learning more about yourself from my perspective and my superstar powered cat powers, spidey powers of tuning into birth charts and what makes you unique, stumbling over my words, I call it star babble. So email me at starpoweralchemy@gmail.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to my first 100 subscribers, so I can throw a little party of some kind. I'm not sure what it'll be, but thanks so much. I appreciate your positive connections for those of you who've been reaching out and saying hello in your various ways, and I'm happy to be here. So much love to all of you.